Hey, what's up? How's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby, and today we're going to be doing a very casual, chill video of me letting you know about some of my most anticipated books of 2022. Because there's a lot, and it's honestly kind of ridiculous and overwhelming how many books I want to share with you today. I've divided them into like different sections. So the first section that we're gonna go through is books that are like kind of miscellaneous that don't really fit into any category. So this will include like sci-fi or like literary fiction or some young adult. And then after that, I have about, give or take, 17-ish romance books that I'm pretty hyped for next year. And then I have about 30-ish or a little bit more thrillers and horror books that I'm excited about for next year. So, as I said, it's gonna be a lot. I will put timestamps down below if you're like only here for the romance or if you're only here for the thrillers and horrors, but otherwise, let's just jump right in. And yes, I am drinking iced coffee, even though it is about 30 degrees outside right now in December. But that's just how it's gonna be, alright? And if I'm looking down a lot, it's because I'm looking at my laptop because that's where all of the information is about all of the books. Alright, so jumping right in, I'm gonna start with this young adult book called Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Alberts, and this one is one that's coming out in June next year. This one just looks so interesting, not only because the cover really draws me in, but even though this one's a young adult title, I think this one might be kind of like up my alley because it says secrets, lies, super bad choices, witchcraft. This is Our Crooked Hearts, a dark, gripping contemporary fantasy. And over here in the subgenres, we just have like witches, paranormal, urban fantasy, horror. And so I have no idea what to expect from this book. I've never read a book from this author before, but I'm more than willing to give it a go, see what it's about. Alright, next up I have To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara. I only have this book on my list because I'm such a huge fan of A Little Life, and so that's pretty much the only reason why this is on here. This is the same author, but I'm also kind of concerned because so far it's getting very mixed reviews from my friends so far, at least from what I've seen. This one comes out January 11th, so like we're almost there. This book is almost out, and this one is quite the beast. It's 720 pages, like holy crap. It's another thick one, kind of like A Little Life. But this one I'm super curious about because it has 3 different like stories happening, and they all take place in different centuries. And so the first story takes place in 1893 America, and then the second part of this book takes place in 1993 Manhattan, and then the third part of this book takes place in 2093. I don't know, I'm excited but also nervous and curious to read this one. I don't know if I'm going to read this one right away when it comes out. And then I think this is the only sci-fi on this list, but I have Upgrade by Blake Crouch, and the only reason I have this one on this list is because it's Blake Crouch. He's written some of my favorite sci-fi thrillers of all time, like Dark Matter and Recursion, if you didn't know. And so like I will pretty much read anything he comes out with, and I'm really excited for this new book. It kind of sounds, like, I don't know, it's going to be a mind-blowing new thriller. I don't really want to read too much of the premise, to be honest, because I'll just read it, but this one comes out July 19th, so it's a little ways away. Okay, and now we're starting to get into the romance-ish books. I say ish because these first few kind of look like they are romance books, but they can also just fit into like contemporary fiction as the genre. But the first one I have on here is Fool Me Once by Ashley Winstead, because oh my god, she is my queen after she has written In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and I'm so excited that next year in April she's going to be coming out with this like romance kind of contemporary story. And I'm just excited because like I would literally read anything that she writes because I just really love her writing. And then I also have One Italian Summer by Rebecca Serli. This is another one that I think it's marketed as a romance, but it can also be marketed as contemporary fiction, magical realism. This one goes on sale March 1st. I actually do have an ARC copy of this book, and I'm planning on reading it like maybe pretty soon. But this book, it just sounds like it's gonna be intense. It's about this woman who like her mother dies, and then I think it's about how it's like her rekindling her relationship with her mom. It kind of sounds like it's going to have a magical realism thing, kind of like the same way In 5 Years did. This is the same author as In 5 Years. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. And then this book, The Ark. This one's coming out February 8th. And this one is a romance contemporary story that says for fans of Taylor Jenkins Reid, Sally Rooney, and Rebecca Serli, which is the last author I just talked about. It's so interesting. So apparently this book is about this thing called the Ark, which is like a matchmaking service. I don't know, it sounds super interesting. It sounds like this could be similar to like that Christina Lauren book. What was it called? The Soulmate Equation. But like, hopefully it'll be better. I don't know. The next one is one that I just found out about like this morning because it's One Night on the Island by Josie Silver, and I really enjoyed One Day in December. I know a lot of people seem to not really enjoy that book, but I really liked it. And this one has one of my favorite romance tropes because it seems like there's going to be a situation where they both double book this one room cabin and they both are going to end up staying there. And I don't know, it just looks super cute. It's coming out February 15th, so like perfect timing around Valentine's Day, and I'm kind of obsessed with this cover. Like, it's just so cute. I love the little drawings and I love the colors. Like, it's just so adorable. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this one. Ooh, and then next we have one of the #1 most anticipated romance books for me because it's called Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson, and this one is coming out August 1st, so we do have quite a bit of ways before this one comes out. But like, it looks so cute. Because it says, turns out that reading nothing but true crime isn't exactly conducive of modern dating, and one woman is going to have to learn to give love a chance when she's used to suspecting the worst. This one just sounds so cute because it's about this girl who's obsessed with true crime, which like, what's up? That's me. And then it's like how she's convinced that her new neighbor Sam is a serial killer, but then she starts to realize like maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know, it just sounds so cute. And I love the incorporation of true crime into a romance book. Like, I'm here for this. And then next up we have Circling Back to You, which this is the same author as that one, The Donut Trap, which I haven't actually read yet, but I've been seeing that one getting pretty good reviews. And this one looks so freaking cute. I mean, just look at this cover. It's just like so cute. It has major like office romance vibes, which is something I am just here for. This one doesn't publish until July, but also I'm just really excited for this one. Like, it just looks so cute. Okay, and then next we have Four Aunties and a Wedding. I didn't know if I should classify this one as like a romance or like a mystery thriller, but like the first book in this series read a lot more like a romance to me. And this is the sequel to Dial A for Aunties, which is a book that I absolutely adored last year, so I'm really excited for this one too. It is a sequel. I love this cover. Oh my god, it's just so freaking cute. And also, I have this thing where I like love books that are about weddings. Like, I don't know what it is because I don't even care that much about weddings in real life, to be honest, but I just love reading about weddings. And then another romance that I'm really looking forward to is Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy. This one looks kind of different for Elle Kennedy. Like, I don't know, it looks like it's gonna be something more contemporary and just like general fiction as opposed to just romance, which is pretty cool. This one comes out February 1st. And I don't know, I think this one still takes place in college. I don't know, it sounds super cute. I'm obsessed with the cover, and Elle Kennedy is an author that I will read pretty much anything she writes. I really enjoy her romances. Ooh, and then we have The Roughest Draft, which, wow, I just realized that this is by 2 authors, so like that's pretty cool, didn't know that. This one comes out January 25th from Berkeley, so this one's coming out pretty soon. I love this cover. It's giving me major, like, beach read vibes for some reason. Oh, no wonder I was getting beach read vibes because it says they were co-writing literary darlings until they hit a plot hole that turned their lives upside down. Oh my god, how cute is this that this is actually co-written by 2 authors? I wonder if they're, like, actually together in real life. But either way, how cute is this? As you might know, because I mention it all the time, I'm kind of obsessed with books that follow writers, so for that reason alone, I'm really excited to read this one. And then speaking of writers, oh my goodness, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This one's coming out in May, and this one's one of my like top most anticipated romances of next year because after People We Meet on Vacation, I am just obsessed with Emily Henry all of a sudden. This one honestly looks like it could be everything that I was hoping beach read would be. Because look at this cover, it's so cute. They're just like sitting on suitcases that are like full of books and she's like passing him a book and they're both reading books. It's just so freaking cute. And this one sounds like it's gonna have this kind of like hate to love banter or something because it says one summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. Oh my god, that's so dope. So the girl in this book is a cutthroat literary agent. Just, I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. I think it's gonna be so cute. And then we have Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and this one went straight up on my TBR because The X Talk, it's from the same author as The X Talk, which is one that I absolutely loved this year. And this one, oh my goodness, okay, it comes out January 11th, so this one's coming out like really soon. But this one says a TV meteorologist and a sports reporter scheme to reunite their divorced bosses with unforecasted results. It sounds so cute. I've just been talking about this, how I love books that follow like TV news reporter kind of jobs, and this one, they're both like, they both work for TV news reporters, and they're gonna scheme to reunite their bosses. It kind of sounds like that movie on Netflix, like Set It Up or Set Up or whatever it's called. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I also do know that this one takes place in Seattle, I'm pretty sure, kind of like the X-Talk did, which is also very exciting, like holy shit. I'm so excited too. I just love this cover so much. Like, it's giving major How I Met Your Mother vibes with this yellow umbrella. I just love it so much. The next romance on this list is Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandria Bellafleur. This one comes out February 1st, and this is probably another one of my like top 3 most anticipated romances of next year because it's my queen, Alexandria Bellafleur. That's really big. You can't see it. Hold on. So Alexandria Bellafleur wrote 2 of my favorite romances of all time so far, Written in the Stars and Hang the Moon. And now this is the 3rd book in the series, and this book, it's a female-female romance. I love her books because they involve like astrology and astronomy, because all of the book titles she's had in this series so far are based on like astronomy, and it's just the cutest thing ever. I'm obsessed with this series. And in this book we're following the character Margot, which is like a character that was in the first 2 books too, so very excited for this one. And then we have the new Christina Lauren that's coming out next year. It's called Something Wilder. This one just looks so cute. It's coming out in May. Let's see, what is it about? I don't even know what it's about. Oh yeah, it takes place through the Red Rock Canyons of Utah, which is cool. You know, something that I love about all of Christina Lauren's books is that they're also unique. You know, they're also different. So I'm really excited to learn more about this one. I don't really want to know that much going into it, to be honest. Oh my goodness, then we have Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This one is only on my TBR because of how much I enjoyed the first book in the series, which was It Happened One Summer. Tessa Bailey is such a hit or miss author for me. Like, I never know how I'm gonna feel about her books, but this one I'm just so excited about because we're following the younger sister of the girl from It Happened One Summer, and I just love these characters so freaking much. I love that it all takes place in like the Pacific Northwest, and this series is just so cute, so I'm hoping to love this one too. And this one goes on sale March 1st, and wow, it's 400 pages. Holy shit, that's so long. And then we have I Kissed Shara Wheeler. This one's actually also a young adult book, which I just realized that I didn't mention it when I was talking about the other young adult books, but who cares? But this one's on my list because it's by Casey McQuiston, which is the same author as Red, White, and Royal Blue. Like, are you kidding me? And this one, I'm obsessed with this cover. Like, oh my goodness, I freaking love the green of this background. Like, it's just so beautiful. I am kind of nervous that it's like a young adult book because young adult romances don't tend to be like my faves, but also Casey as an author, love them so much, so I'm definitely willing to check this one out. And then we have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This one is coming out in April. This is an author that has always been pretty like meh for me so far. Like, all of her books have just been fine. I've never been like blown away by one of her romances yet, but this one sounds especially interesting because it has a huge age gap from what I remember. After reading this description, I think she's like 10 years older than the love interest in this, which definitely piques my interest. You know, like, I love a romance that has something different, and it's also interesting because in this book she's an ER doctor. And then I also put this one in here. This one's in a New York Minute. I actually did just receive a physical arc of this book, so that's why I wanted to put this one on this list, but it looks cute. This one's coming out in March, and it does say, like, for fans of Christina Lauren, and you know, any books that take place in New York immediately go on my TBR. Like, that's just the rule. I also recently got an arc for The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa, and this one looks so cute. I mean, once again, it involves a wedding, so I'm here for it. And Mia Sosa wrote The Worst Best Man, which was like a super cute romance that I read a little while ago. So yeah, I'm definitely down to read this one. I think it looks super cute. Last romance that I have on this list is The Best Men by Serena Bowen and Lauren Blakely. Oh, I just realized something because I thought this was Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. And I usually love when Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy write a male-male romance together, but I just realized it says Lauren Blakely, which is interesting. I think I've only read like one book by Lauren Blakely and I was not a huge fan. So, I mean, I'm still curious to read this. Serena Bowen is so like hit or miss for me. Like, Elle Kennedy is usually like my vibe. But the reason why I was excited to read this one is because it's an enemies to lovers, opposites attract romance between the best man and the other best man. So like what? I just, oh my god. And again, it involves a wedding. Again, once again, it involves a wedding. So I'm just, I'm trash for this trope. I'm here, I'm excited. All right, and now we are moving right along to the thrillers and the horrors. And this list is pretty long, so sorry. But starting off on this list, we have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Is anybody surprised? No, because Riley Sager is probably my favorite thriller author still, even after the atrociousness that was Survive the Night. But this is one that I'm really excited about, even though the premise does sound kind of exactly like The Woman in the Window. But this one comes out July 7th or June 21st. I'm not totally sure there. This is kind of confusing. I don't know which day it's coming out, but that would be good to know because I would really love for this to be a booktube pick next year. And you know, yeah, it's Riley Sager. I'll read anything he writes. He's always going to be on my most anticipated list. I don't care. I love him. Oh my gosh. Okay, Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of obsessed with Jennifer Hillier after I read Jar of Hearts. Like, I really want to read a lot of her backlist in 2022, but then also this book, Things We Do in the Dark, sounds incredible. It's coming out in July. I mean, it just sounds so interesting. It says this girl named Paris is arrested in her own bathroom covered in blood, holding a straight razor. Her celebrity husband dead in the bathtub behind her. She knows she'll be charged with murder. Like, what the fuck? And then it says 25 years earlier, Ruby is known as the Ice Queen, was convicted of a similar murder in a trial that riveted Canada in the early 90s. I don't even know. It just sounds so good. I'm definitely going to be reading this one. I'm obsessed. I love it. And then we have The Resting Place. This one comes out March 29th, and this is one that I'm mostly just curious about because it is from the same author as The Lost Village, which was a book that came out, I think, earlier this year or maybe a few years ago. I don't know. But I have not actually read that one yet, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about this one. But this one is, like, categorized under, like, gothic, thriller, horror. I don't know. It just sounds like it's going to be right up my alley. I don't know, this is what's so hard about, you know, getting hyped for thrillers or like horror books because I don't really like to read a lot of the premise, you know, because I just kind of want to go in not knowing too much and kind of being surprised because I feel like sometimes the premise can really spoil you for the book. So for most of these, I'm probably just gonna like let you know about them and that I'm excited for them. Like same with this one, The Other Family, this one goes on sale January 18th. What's up? It's so cool when my birthday lands on a publishing day. But this one, it looks like it involves like a neighborhood, like a family. It says, a family making a fresh start moves into a house which was the site of an unsolved triple homicide and are watched by an unknown person. Woo! Sign me up. It sounds amazing. And then we have Good Rich People. I'm excited to read this one because it's the same author of If I Disappear. This is her second book, and even though If I Disappear didn't end up working out for me very well, I still really liked her writing and, you know, I thought she was very interesting. And so I'm excited for this one. I kind of love this cover. Oh my god, it's just so funny. I love the title. I just think it's so funny. Like, there's nothing I love more in this world than, like, rich people murder vibes. And yeah, this one's coming out January 25th, so not too far of a wait for this one. Ooh, and then we have Devil House, which this is one that I actually just received a physical art copy of, and I'm really excited for this one. This one also comes out January 25th, and this one's 416 pages, so it's a little bit thick. But this one is a horror novel that just sounds really interesting because it's about a true crime writer. It says, but now he is being offered the chance for the big break to move into the house, what the locals call the Devil House, in which a briefly notorious pair of murders occurred, apparently the work of disaffected 1980s teens. He begins his research with diligence and enthusiasm, but soon the story leads him into a puzzle he never expected, back into his own work and what it means, back to the very core of what he does and who he is. It just sounds like it's going to be really interesting. I kind of love the cover. It looks very vintage. Ooh, and then of course we have The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. This one comes out February 22nd, and Lucy Foley is the author of The Guest List, which ended up being one of my favorite thrillers that I read in 2020. And yeah, I don't really need to know anything more. Like, I don't really want to know anything more about this. Like, I'm just gonna jump in pretty much not knowing anything because I'm so excited. I love this cover. I love this like purple font on the blue. I just think it looks so good. And then there's this one, Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. Rachel Hawkins is the author of The Wife Upstairs, which is one of the booktube picks from last year. And yeah, this one, it says, a deliciously wicked game of gothic suspense set on an isolated Pacific island with a dark history for fans of Lucy Foley and Ruth Ware. Like, that's all I need to know. Sign me up. This one comes out January 4th. So pretty much right around the corner here. I'm really interested to read this one because even though The Wife Upstairs, it ended up being like just alright for me. It was like a 4-star book, but I really do like this author's writing style for thrillers. I think she writes like really fast-paced, you know, interesting thrillers, so I'm definitely checking this one out. Ooh, and then I have This Might Hurt by Stephanie Robel. This is the same author as, what's it called? Darling Rose Gold, which is a book that I thought was super interesting. And so this one goes on sale March 3rd. Ooh, what? This is so interesting. On a private island off the coast of Maine, Wisewood's guests commit to 6-month stays. During this time, they're prohibited from contact with the rest of the world. What? Okay, yeah, this sounds super interesting. I'm really glad that I mentioned this one. Oh my god, on the side here, it says religion cults is something that it's like put under. This is about a cult? Okay, this just went way up on my TBR list. Wow, this sounds amazing. And then this one doesn't have a title, it doesn't have a premise, it doesn't have anything, but it's We Spread by Ian Reid. This one's going on sale September 15th as of now, and this one's just marketed, it's just listed as horror over here in the genres, and I don't know anything about it, but I'm excited for it because Ian Reid wrote I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and I'm just really curious to read anything by him, to be honest, so I just added it. It's coming out next year, I guess, and I'm excited. Ooh, and then this one that was just announced recently, Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I'm obsessed with this cover. I know everybody says it looks like every value break, and I know it does, but I'm loving it. I love the blue. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. This one is going on sale. I think they announced that it's going on sale in late August. And yeah, this one, it says Daisy Darker is arriving at her grandmother's house for her 80th birthday. Okay, so it follows this family that's called the Darker family, haven't all been in the same place for over a decade, and when the tide comes in, they'll be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. When the tide goes back out, nothing will ever be the same again because one of them is a killer. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. I love it. Alice Feeney has become one of my faves recently. I think she gets better and better with every book. Okay, and then we have Insomnia by Sarah Pinborough. This one goes on sale April 12th, and you know, this one, I just want to read it because I love Sarah Pinborough. I mean, granted, I've only enjoyed Behind Her Eyes, and I haven't even read her newest previous release because it's getting such bad reviews, but Sarah Pinborough, you know, she takes some risks, you know, I appreciate it. This one, again, I don't really want to read this description because I don't want to know. It says, Emma worries that her crippling insomnia is a sign that she's slowly going insane, like the mother she's worked so hard to leave in her past. Well, holy shit. That is terrifying because I also have insomnia and I'm also afraid of losing my mind because of it. Ooh, then we have My Summer Darlings by May Cobb. This one's coming out May 17th, and this is my queen, May Cobb. You know, she wrote The Hunting Wives, which is one of my favorite books that I read this year. And this one says 3 lifelong friends plus a dangerous, sexy new stranger in town add up to a scorching summer of manipulation, obsession, and murder. You know what? That just sounds perfect. That sounds great. It sounds like it's gonna have very similar vibes to The Hunting Wives, which was, you know, one of my favorite aspects of the book. So I'm just really excited for this one. You know I'm gonna be reading this one. Okay, wow. Next we have 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. This, you know, Peter Swanson is still one of my favorite authors. I know that Every Value Break was such a miss, but still, I will read anything that he writes. I love his writing. This one comes out March 15th, and it says, if you're on the list, someone wants you dead. I've heard that this one is very like Agatha Christie and Then There Were None vibes, which has me even more excited because what the heck. It says, comes the heart-pounding story of 9 strangers who receive a cryptic list with their names on it and then begin to die in highly unusual circumstances. It sounds exactly like And Then There Were None. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited that I might even make it a booktube pick for next year, even though the last one didn't go so well, but I'm just so excited. And then I have The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. This one goes on sale March 15th, and this one's mainly on my list because Simone St. James has written some other books that I really enjoyed. The main one that I enjoyed was The Broken Girls. I thought Sundown Motel ended up being just okay, but I still think it was a really like good atmospheric, you know, kind of book, and I love that her thrillers, they tend to have kind of like spooky paranormal vibes to them, which I'm just, you know, I'm here for that. And it looks like this one's gonna be the same because on the side over here I see it's listed under like paranormal ghosts and like stuff like that, which yes. Ooh, that's so interesting. So it says we're following this true crime blogger who's interviewing this woman who is responsible for 2 cold case slayings. And see, I like that in her books too, we usually get like a past point of view. So we have one in 1977 and then we have a present day in 2017 point of view, and we're going back and forth, I'm assuming. So that's something that I really enjoy about her books. I feel like she kind of has a similar style to like Jennifer McMahon. Ooh, and then I have The Maid by Nita Prose. This one's going on sale January 4th, so like right around the corner. And this is actually one that I'm going to be reading with Savannah for her book club in January. So like we're going to be reading this one together in the month of January, which I'm so excited about. And this one is being described as like a cozy mystery. A lot of people are comparing this to Finlay Donovan is Killing It, which like, yes, I'm so excited. This one, we're just following this woman who's a maid, and then her life is thrown upside down when she enters the suite of this one hotel and she sees the infamous and wealthy Charles Black, only to find him in a state of disarray and Mr. Black himself dead in his bed. So yeah, it just sounds like it's gonna be really, you know, really fun, really intense, like coziness, kind of like Finlay Donovan. I'm here for it. Ooh, and then we have The Golden Couple. This is by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, and this one comes out March 8th. And I'm not a huge fan of this cover. Like, I actually really hate it. Like, it's just disgusting. I don't know why they would make that the cover. It looks so gross. Like I would not want to read that. But because it's this author duo, I will read it. And this author duo, to be honest, has been such a hit or miss for me because they're one of the few authors in this world that I've given a 5-star and a 1-star to their books. But either way, I have high hopes for this one, you know. I actually do have the audiobook from Libro already for this book, so I could listen to it a little early. And I'm just so excited, you know, even though I hate the cover, I hate it. Did I mention I hate it? Oh my god, and then we have The Children on the Hill by Jennifer McMahon. This one's coming out April 26th. Oh my goodness, Jennifer McMahon, like I will literally read anything that she writes at this point. I'm just obsessed. This one sounds like it's gonna be very similar to her other books, you know, it's like a horror, mystery, thriller kind of book. It looks like it has a flashback chapter in 1978, and then I'm assuming, yeah, it has a present day chapter 2019. Oh my gosh, we have the host of a popular podcast, Monsters Among Us. Oh my gosh, I love that they call her the literary descendant of Shirley Jackson. My freaking queen, Jennifer McMahon. I'm already kind of obsessed with this, and I kind of want to make this one a booktube selection next year too, to be honest. Like, I just love Jennifer McMahon so much. Alright, and then next I have The Night Shift by Alex Finlay. And I don't know how excited I am for this one, to be honest, because Alex Finlay recently wrote a book last year called Every Last Fear that was kind of annoying. Because it was just a little bit problematic in my eyes. Like, I just was not a fan of the representation in that book, but The Night Shift, I don't know, I think I'm kind of drawn to it, to be honest, because of this cover. I just really love the neon lights kind of vibe of this cover. At a Blockbuster Video in New Jersey, 4 teenage girls working the night shift are attacked. Only one survives. 15 years later, in the same town, 4 teenage employees working late at an ice cream store are attacked, and again, only one makes it out alive. Both surviving victims recall the killer speaking only a few final words, "Good night, pretty girl." Holy shit. 3 lives intersect: the survivor of the Blockbuster massacre who's forced to relive her tragedy, the brother of the original suspect who's convinced the police have it wrong, and the FBI agent who's determined to solve both cases. Okay, not excited about the potential FBI agent point of view, but otherwise, it sounds very interesting. I am intrigued. I will probably read this one. Oh my god, and then next we have The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. This is once again the same author as In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. She has 2 books publishing next year. Like, what a freaking queen. But this one I'm so excited about because it's another thriller from this author, and it's coming out August 16th. It says this is a pitch black thriller about a woman determined to destroy a powerful cult and avenge the deaths of the women taken in by it, no matter the cost. What the fuck? I'm so excited. And of course, once again, recruiting the help of the podcast host. We have another podcast. Oh my god. And then we have Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. You know, Finlay Donovan is Killing It ended up being my second favorite book of 2021. So you bet your ass I'm so excited to read the sequel. Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead. It's coming February 2022. And I'm so excited. I love this cover. I love the way it's kind of like cute and cartoonish and it kind of matches, you know, the first book. I don't even want to read the premise to you because this is a sequel, so you don't even need to know. All you need to know is that you need to read Finlay Donovan is Killing It. And if you haven't read it yet, then what are you even doing? Ooh, and then I have Sundial by Catriona Ward. This is only on here because this is the same author as The Last House on Needless Street, and I'm just really interested in checking out more books from this author, and I think this cover's really cool. Like, I love these these colors going on. It's a vibe. It's like a periwinkle. And this one, once again, is a horror book that's also listed under, you know, psychological thriller. And it comes out in March, and from what it sounds like, some of it takes place in the desert, so I am intrigued. Ooh, and then I have Dead Silence. This one is by S.A. Barnes and Stacy Cade. This one is a horror novel that's also sci-fi, and this one is on my list because it sounds so freaking cool. Listen to this premise. It says Titanic meets The Shining. Like, excuse me, what? What? A horror novel in which a woman and her crew board a decades-lost luxury cruiser and find the wreckage of a nightmare that hasn't yet ended. A ghost ship, a salvage crew, unspeakable horrors. This one comes out February 8th, and I'm like literally so excited for this. I'm like definitely putting off doing the space horror video just so I can include this book in that video next year. I'm so excited. Ooh, and then I have The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkauf. This one, I have actually read one book by this author before, like a really long time ago. God, and this one comes out January 25th too, and it involves a true crime writer. Like, are you kidding me? Is this a new trend in 2022? Is that we have either podcast people or true crime people? This general premise just says a woman receives an unexpected visitor during a deadly snowstorm in this chilling thriller. Oh my god. Why couldn't this come out before Winterween? This sounds perfect. Oh my gosh, okay, and then next I have The Island. And this is from the same author as The Chain, which is a book that I really enjoyed when I read it a while ago. And this one's coming out in May. This cover looks so freaking cool. I kind of love it. It kind of looks like it matches The Chain, you know, and I kind of like when authors have like similar themed covers. Oh my god, the premise is just so simple. Like, this is it. This is all it is. You should not have come to the island. You should not have been speeding. You should not have tried to hide the body. You should not have told your children that you could keep them safe. No one can run forever. Like, what? What does this even mean? I don't even know, but I'm honestly so freaking pumped. Like, after The Chain, I trust that this author is going to do amazing things. And then the next book on this list, you're probably going to be like, what the fuck, Gabby? But it's An Honest Lie by Taryn Fisher. I know at this point, it's like, why? Why would I even read any more Taryn Fisher after The Wrong Family and after The Wives? But honestly, okay, I'm obsessed with this cover. I'm not even going to lie. This cover is stunning. Love it. Also, this book's coming out April 26th, you know, I'm not gonna like do anything crazy and like make this a booktube selection or anything like that, but I'm still curious to read it. I'm curious about it. I'll probably just read it out of genuine curiosity. I actually think I'm auto-approved for this one on NetGalley, so I might just fuck around and read this one like soon. Oh, okay, and then I have this horror novel called Just Like Mother. This cover is super creepy. This one's coming out May 17th. This one just sounds so interesting because it says the last time that this girl, Maeve, saw her cousin was the night she escaped the cult they were raised in. For the past 2 decades, Maeve has worked so hard to build a normal life in New York City where she keeps everything and everyone at a safe distance. I don't know, it's marketed as a horror thriller. I'm just so excited. It's coming out in May. I think it'll be a good time. Ooh, and then I have Mary, An Awakening of Terror by Nat Cassidy. I'm not a huge fan of this cover, but this premise just sounds really interesting. It's a debut horror novel, and it says it blends Midsummer with elements of American Psycho and a pinch of I'll Be Gone in the Dark? Like, what? This one's coming out July 19th. I mean, I don't know. It's following this woman named Mary, who's a middle-aged woman doing her best to blend into the background. She gets fired from her job, moves back to her hometown. Mary discovers that these experiences are echoes of an infamous serial killer. Then the killings begin again. Mary's definitely going to find herself. I feel like it's about how she starts losing her mind and becoming a serial killer, and I don't even know. I just want to read it. It sounds so cray-cray. And then I also put on here The Pall Bearers Club by Paul Tremblay, because Paul Tremblay, you know, I know he's very hit or miss. I've only enjoyed one book from him, so it's like, why do I even bother? But this book, it looks like it could be very interesting. It's coming out in July. I do enjoy this cover, I think. And of course, you know, this one takes place during the 1980s, so that's another reason why I wanted to put this on my list. Because seamlessly blurring the lines between fiction and memory, the supernatural and the mundane, The Pall Bearers Club is an immersive, suspenseful portrait of an unforgettable and unsettling friendship. Like, alright, don't even have to say any more than that. I'm intrigued. And then the last one that I have on this list is another one that I just discovered today when I was going through a bunch of like thriller anticipated lists for next year, and it's called We Lie Here. It says, a woman's trip home reveals frightening truths in a twisty novel of murder and family secrets by the author of And Now She's Gone, which is a book that was like super popular. Where is it? This book. Super popular book like a year or two ago, but I never got around to reading it. So this would be my first from this author, but this one also follows a TV writer, which is super cool, and her hometown is Palmdale, California, which, you know, that's close to where I used to live. I don't know, there's a lot of things that pique my interest about this book. This one's coming out in July next year, and I don't know, I've never heard of it, but I'm excited for it. I really like this cover. It's very bold, and I like the car on it. But yeah, that is it. That is all of the books that I'm most excited for next year, at least the ones that I know about. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting some, because I feel like books keep getting announced every single day. Like every time I'm on Instagram, I see a book getting announced for an author that I'm really excited about. And so this list is probably going to grow pretty substantially. And you're probably like, oh my god, are you even going to read all these books next year? You know, probably, most likely. Because if you look at my reading stats at the end of every year, I usually read like more than 50% of what I read is new releases. I just get really excited for all the new books coming out and I prioritize those. And all of these release dates, by the way, could change, you know, especially with like during these pandemic times. I feel like book release dates are always getting pushed or moved or anything like that. So as of the time that I'm filming this, I mean, you saw on Goodreads, those are the release dates for now, but those could obviously change. Like, we'll just have to see. I also do know that Ruth Ware has a book coming out next year, but I'm not too sure. I don't know how I feel about Ruth Ware anymore. Like, we'll have to see. I don't know if I'm anticipating it or not. And then I think CJ Tudor might be having a book come out next year. Ali Hazelwood might be having a book come out next year. Like, there's a few that I've heard rumors that they might come out with another book, but as far as I know, there's no like concrete information about it yet on Goodreads, so that's why I didn't mention those in this video. I did forget to mention this one, Beneath the Stairs, is coming out in February. I think I forgot to mention it because I already have it here with me, and I think I'm planning on maybe reading this one for Winterween. Like, we'll just have to see, but this is another one that I'm really excited about. Yeah, overall, that's gonna be all of the things. I'm very excited for 2022. There's gonna be so many exciting books coming out next year that I'm so hyped, so looking forward to. And yeah, let's hope together that the next Riley Sager is a banger, and I just hope we all have a wonderful reading year next year. And thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you have any other 2022 titles that you were excited about, or if you found out about any in this video, please let me know in the comments. We can have a whole discussion down there. And thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye!